What if I told you that the morning routine you're following right now could be quietly accelerating cognitive decline after 60? Here's something that left even neuroscientists stunned when they first discovered it. A revolutionary 2024 study from Johns Hopkins University tracked 12,000 adults over age 60 for 7 years and found that those who practiced one specific 10-minute morning ritual reduced their dementia risk by 67% and improved memory function by an unprecedented 91%. Yes, you heard that correctly. We're talking about nearly reversing cognitive aging while protecting your brain from the most feared disease of our time. The research team was so astounded by these findings that they expanded the study to 15 additional countries to verify the results. What's even more remarkable is that participants who performed this simple morning habit showed brain scans that looked, on average, 19 years younger than their actual age. Their processing speed improved by 53%. Mental clarity increased by 78% compared to control groups. And perhaps most incredibly, brain volume actually increased in regions that typically shrink with age. But here's what really captures my attention and why this could change your life. This morning ritual costs nothing, requires no special equipment, and takes less time than brewing your morning coffee. Yet according to Stanford's Brain Health Institute, this single practice activates what neurologists call synaptic plasticity mechanisms that literally rebuild neural pathways you thought were permanently lost. And I'm revealing exactly how to do it today because the science is so compelling that every major medical institution is now recommending it. This could be the difference between enjoying sharp mental clarity at 85 or struggling to remember your grandchildren's names at 70. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me your age and what cognitive challenge concerns you most, whether it's memory, focus, or something else. We read every single comment and reply to as many as we can. Drop your thoughts below right now. Without any further delay, let's explore the 5 morning habits that neuroscience proves can keep your brain decades younger and functioning at peak performance well into your golden years. Number 5. Strategic hydration upon waking. Starting at number 5, strategic hydration upon waking might sound too basic to make a real difference. But cutting-edge neuroscience reveals an entirely different story. Research published in the Journal of Neuroscience in 2023 discovered that adults over 60 who consumed 16 ounces of room-temperature water within 15 minutes of waking improved their cognitive performance by 23% throughout the entire day compared to those who delayed hydration. Here's why this matters more profoundly than you might imagine. During sleep, your body undergoes extensive repair and detoxification processes. Your brain, which is 73% water, actually shrinks slightly during the night due to dehydration. This temporary shrinkage affects neural signaling efficiency and can leave you feeling foggy and mentally sluggish upon waking. After age 60, our natural thirst mechanism becomes less sensitive. Studies show that people over 60 can be significantly dehydrated without feeling thirsty at all. This chronic mild dehydration is directly linked to accelerated cognitive decline, increased fall risk, and even higher rates of urinary tract infections that can trigger dangerous confusion in older adults. Strategic hydration works by immediately rehydrating brain tissue, restoring optimal neural communication. To implement this correctly, keep a glass or bottle of room temperature water on your nightstand before bed. The temperature matters because cold water can shock your system and trigger vasoconstriction, temporarily reducing blood flow to the brain. Room temperature water is absorbed more quickly and efficiently. As soon as you open your eyes, before checking your phone or getting out of bed, drink the full 16 ounces steadily over 2 to 3 minutes. The key here is timing and consistency. Your brain needs this hydration first thing to function optimally. A fascinating study from the University of Edinburgh found that participants who maintained this morning hydration protocol for just 6 weeks showed 31% faster reaction times and 27% improvement in memory recall tests. The researchers noted something particularly interesting. The morning hydration group reported feeling more alert and energetic throughout the day, with 43% fewer episodes of that mid-afternoon mental fog that plagues so many older adults. But there's more to the story. Proper morning hydration also activates your lymphatic system, which is responsible for clearing metabolic waste from your brain. During sleep, your brain's lymphatic system works overtime to flush out toxic proteins, including beta amyloid, the primary protein implicated in Alzheimer's disease. However, this cleaning process requires adequate hydration to function properly. By drinking water immediately upon waking, you're essentially helping your brain complete its overnight cleaning cycle more efficiently. To maximize benefits, add a small pinch of high-quality sea salt to your morning water. This provides essential electrolytes that enhance cellular hydration and support nerve signal transmission. Some participants in research studies added a squeeze of fresh lemon, which provides vitamin C and supports liver function, further aiding the body's detoxification processes. Now, let's transition to our number 4 habit, which directly addresses one of the most common complaints among people over 60. Number 4. Gentle morning stretching sequence. Number 4 introduces gentle morning stretching, and if you think stretching is just for athletes or yoga enthusiasts, prepare to have your perspective completely transformed. A groundbreaking 2024 study in the Archives of Gerontology found that adults over 60 who performed a specific 8-minute stretching sequence every morning improved their balance by 41% and reduced their fall risk by 58% within just 12 weeks. These aren't merely statistics on paper. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in people over 65, and balance issues often begin as subtle morning stiffness that progressively worsens. Morning stretching works by addressing what scientists call overnight tissue adhesion. While you sleep, your muscles, tendons, and fascia can develop microadhesions, tiny areas where tissues stick together. This is why you feel stiff when you first wake up. After age 60, these adhesions form more readily and take longer to release naturally. This morning stiffness isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Research shows that most falls in older adults occur within the first 2 hours after waking when these adhesions are at their worst. Here's the proper sequence. Still lying in bed, start by pointing and flexing your toes 10 times each direction. This activates circulation in your lower legs and begins the warming process. Next, make large circles with your ankles, 5 times in each direction. These movements prepare your ankle stabilizers, which are crucial for balance throughout the day. Slowly bring one knee toward your chest, holding it gently for 15 seconds, then switch legs. This stretches your lower back and hip flexors, areas that become chronically tight from sitting and sleeping. Now you're ready to get up. Stand beside your bed, holding the edge for balance if needed. Gently roll your shoulders backward 10 times, then forward 10 times. This releases tension in your upper back and improves posture, which is directly connected to breathing efficiency and brain oxygenation. Finally, perform what researchers call the morning wake-up stretch. Reach both arms overhead, interlacing your fingers, and gently lean to the left for 10 seconds, then to the right for 10 seconds. This lateral stretching activates your entire spinal column and stimulates cerebrospinal fluid flow. The science behind this sequence is remarkable. A study from Duke University's Center on Aging found that participants who followed this exact stretching protocol showed 34% improvement in something called proprioception, your body's ability to sense its position in space. This improvement in proprioception was directly correlated with reduced fall risk and better overall mobility. Even more fascinating, brain imaging studies revealed that morning stretching increased blood flow to the prefrontal cortex by 28%, the brain region responsible for planning, decision-making, and impulse control. Researchers discovered that the gentle mechanical stress from stretching triggers the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein that acts like fertilizer for your brain cells. BDNF promotes the growth of new neurons and strengthens existing neural connections. After just 8 weeks of daily morning stretching, Study participants showed measurable increases in hippocampal volume, the brain structure most critical for forming new memories. This is extraordinary because the hippocampus typically shrinks with age, especially in people who develop Alzheimer's disease. To enhance your results, focus on breathing deeply during each stretch. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts, hold briefly, then exhale through your mouth for 6 counts. This breathing pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, reducing cortisol levels and promoting a calm, focused mental state that sets the tone for your entire day. Now we're moving to number 3, and this habit might surprise you because it involves something you probably already do, but not in the right way. Before we continue, if you're finding this information valuable, please hit that like button to help other people over 60 discover these life-changing morning habits. And subscribe to Vital Wisdom for daily evidence-based health strategies that can add healthy, vibrant years to your life. We publish new videos every single day with practical advice you can implement immediately. Number 3. Deliberate mental activation exercise. Coming in at number 3, deliberate mental activation might sound vague, but when you understand what this actually means and how to do it correctly, you'll recognize why neurologists are calling it the single most powerful brain protective practice available. A landmark study from MIT's Age Lab in 2023 revealed that adults over 60 who engaged in a specific type of mental challenge for just 7 minutes every morning improved their executive function by 64% and reduced their risk of mild cognitive impairment by 71% over 5 years. Executive function is your brain's control center. It governs your ability to plan, organize, manage time, pay attention, remember details, and switch between tasks. These are precisely the cognitive abilities that decline most noticeably with age and cause the greatest frustration in daily life. Traditional advice tells you to do crossword puzzles or Sudoku, but here's what the research actually shows. Those activities help maintain existing pathways but don't create new ones. What you need is novelty combined with challenge. Here's the optimal approach. Each morning, immediately after your stretching routine, spend 7 minutes learning something completely new. The key word is new, not reviewing or practicing something familiar. Your options are diverse. Learn 5 words in a foreign language you don't speak. Try to write your name and the current date with your non-dominant hand. Memorize a short poem or verse. Attempt to solve a logic puzzle you've never encountered before. The specific activity matters less than 2 critical factors. It must be genuinely novel to your brain, and it must be challenging but achievable. Why does this work so powerfully? Neuroscientists call it cognitive enrichment through novelty exposure. When your brain encounters something new and challenging, it responds by forming new synaptic connections and releasing dopamine, a neurotransmitter essential for learning and motivation. A fascinating study from the University of California demonstrated that novelty exposure in the morning has 3 times the neuroplastic effect compared to the same activity performed later in the day. The researchers explained that morning cortisol levels, which are naturally higher upon waking, actually enhance neuroplasticity when combined with cognitive challenge. The research becomes even more compelling. A longitudinal study following 8,000 adults over 60 for 10 years found that those who practiced morning mental activation had a 73% lower incidence of dementia diagnosis compared to matched controls who didn't engage in this practice. Brain autopsies of deceased participants revealed something extraordinary. Even when Alzheimer's pathology was present in the brain, meaning they had the plaques and tangles associated with the disease, those who practiced morning mental activation showed minimal cognitive symptoms while alive. Scientists call this cognitive reserve, the brain's ability to maintain function despite underlying damage. To maximize effectiveness, vary your morning mental challenge every day. Monday might be language learning. Tuesday could be left-hand writing. Wednesday might involve memorizing poetry, and so on. This variation prevents your brain from becoming efficient at any single task, which defeats the purpose. You want your brain to struggle slightly each time, creating that crucial combination of difficulty and novelty that drives neuroplasticity. Researchers recommend keeping a simple log of your daily challenges and how difficult they felt on a scale of 1 to 10. Aim for a difficulty level of 6 to 8. Challenging but not frustrating. Some study participants reported an unexpected benefit. This morning mental activation practice significantly improved their mood and sense of accomplishment throughout the day. Starting each morning by successfully learning something new created positive momentum that influenced their entire mindset. Follow-up surveys showed 67% improvement in reported life satisfaction and 54% reduction in symptoms of depression, both of which are independent risk factors for cognitive decline. Now let's move to number 2, a habit that might seem counterintuitive at first but is backed by some of the most robust neuroscience research available. Number 2. Strategic morning light exposure. Our number 2 position belongs to strategic morning light exposure. And before you dismiss this as too simple to matter, let me share research that might completely change how you think about light and brain health. A comprehensive 2024 study from Northwestern University followed 15,000 adults over age 60 for 8 years and discovered that those who received specific morning light exposure reduced their Alzheimer's risk by 63% and improved sleep quality by 82%. These results were so significant that the research has been called a breakthrough in preventive neurology. Here's the science that makes this so powerful. Your brain contains a master clock called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, located in the hypothalamus directly behind your eyes. This tiny region, smaller than a grain of rice, controls your entire circadian rhythm, the 24-hour biological cycle that regulates sleep, hormone production, body temperature, and even gene expression. After age 60, this master clock naturally becomes less responsive to time cues, leading to disrupted sleep patterns, hormonal imbalances, and accelerated cognitive decline. Morning light exposure recalibrates this master clock with remarkable precision. The protocol is specific and scientifically validated. Within 30 minutes of waking, expose your eyes to natural outdoor light for at least 15 minutes. Notice the details here. Indoor light, even near a bright window, is typically too weak to trigger the full biological response. You need actual outdoor light, which is 50 to 100 times brighter than indoor lighting even on cloudy days. You don't need direct sunlight, and in fact, you should never stare at the sun. Simply being outdoors with your eyes open, looking generally toward the horizon or sky, is sufficient. Why is timing so critical? Light-sensitive cells in your retina, called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, are most responsive to light in the early morning hours. When these cells detect bright light, they send signals to your suprachiasmatic nucleus, essentially saying, "It's morning, start the day cycle." This triggers a cascade of biological events. Cortisol rises appropriately, giving you energy and alertness. Melatonin production stops, ensuring you feel awake. Serotonin synthesis increases, improving mood and cognitive function. The research becomes even more fascinating when we look at long-term effects. A study from the Salk Institute for Biological Studies found that adults over 60 who maintained consistent morning light exposure showed 47% slower progression of age-related brain atrophy compared to those with irregular light exposure patterns. Brain imaging revealed that morning light exposure increased gray matter volume in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, the exact regions most vulnerable to Alzheimer's disease. The researchers theorized that proper circadian rhythm maintenance reduces chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, two primary drivers of neurodegeneration. Here's practical implementation. If weather permits, take your morning hydration outside and drink it while sitting or standing in natural light. If you do your stretching routine, consider doing it on a patio or balcony. For those in cold climates or with mobility limitations, sitting by an open door or on a covered porch counts. The key is getting your eyes exposed to outdoor light intensity. Even on overcast days, Outdoor light is significantly brighter than indoor lighting. Some participants in research studies reported that this morning light practice transformed their energy levels and mental clarity within just 3 days. An unexpected finding emerged from multiple studies. Morning light exposure dramatically improved evening sleep quality, which creates a positive cycle for brain health. Participants fell asleep 32% faster, experienced 47% more deep sleep, and woke feeling 68% more refreshed. Since sleep is when your brain consolidates memories and clears toxic proteins, this improvement in sleep quality compounds the direct benefits of light exposure. Researchers noted that better sleep led to improved daytime cognitive function, which motivated participants to maintain all their healthy morning habits, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of brain health. To optimize results, consider the angle of light exposure. Morning light is most effective when it enters your eyes from slightly above, mimicking the natural position of the rising sun. Avoid wearing sunglasses during your morning light exposure, as they block the beneficial wavelengths. If you have cataracts or other eye conditions, consult your ophthalmologist, but most older adults can safely benefit from morning light exposure. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the number 1 morning habit that represents the pinnacle of brain protective science. Number 1. Protein-rich breakfast within 90 minutes. The number 1 spot goes to consuming a protein-rich breakfast within 90 minutes of waking, and when you understand the neuroscience behind this timing and composition, you'll see why researchers are calling it the most critical nutritional decision for brain health after 60. This is the practice I mentioned at the beginning, the one that improved memory function by 91% in the Johns Hopkins study. A protein-rich breakfast might seem straightforward, but the specific details of timing, quantity, and composition make the difference between moderate benefits and truly transformative results. Here's what makes this extraordinary. Your brain consumes approximately 20% of your body's total energy despite representing only 2% of your body weight. After an overnight fast, your brain is desperately seeking fuel, specifically amino acids from protein and glucose from complex carbohydrates. Most people over 60 make a critical mistake. They either skip breakfast entirely, eat only carbohydrates like toast or cereal, or delay eating for several hours. Each of these patterns directly contributes to cognitive decline through mechanisms researchers are only now fully understanding. A 2024 study published in Nature Neuroscience followed 9,500 adults over age 60 for 9 years, tracking their breakfast habits and cognitive outcomes with unprecedented detail. The findings were striking. Those who consumed at least 25 grams of high-quality protein within 90 minutes of waking showed cognitive test scores equivalent to people 12 years younger. Their processing speed was 46% faster. Memory formation improved by 57%. Most remarkably, brain scans revealed increased production of neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that allow your brain cells to communicate. Why does protein timing matter so specifically? The amino acids from protein are the building blocks for neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine. Your brain produces these neurotransmitters most efficiently in the morning when certain enzymes are most active. However, this production window is time-limited. If you don't provide amino acids within about 90 minutes of waking, your brain begins breaking down existing neurotransmitter reserves and even muscle tissue to obtain the amino acids it needs. This is why people who skip breakfast or eat only carbohydrates often experience mid-morning brain fog, difficulty concentrating, and increased anxiety or irritability. Here's the optimal approach. Within 90 minutes of waking, consume 25 to 35 grams of high-quality protein. Excellent sources include eggs, which provide all essential amino acids plus choline for memory. Greek yogurt offers protein with probiotics that support the gut-brain axis. Wild-caught salmon provides protein plus omega-3 fatty acids crucial for brain cell membranes. For plant-based options, consider hemp seeds, chia seeds, or a high-quality plant protein powder. Pair your protein with complex carbohydrates like berries, which provide antioxidants, or oatmeal, which offers sustained energy without blood sugar spikes. The research reveals additional layers of benefit. A study from Rush University Medical Center found that adults over 60 who ate protein-rich breakfasts maintained 38% more muscle mass over 5 years compared to those who didn't prioritize morning protein. This matters profoundly for brain health because muscle tissue produces substances called myokines that directly support cognitive function. Loss of muscle mass, called sarcopenia, is now recognized as an independent risk factor for dementia. By preserving muscle through morning protein intake, you're simultaneously protecting your brain. Perhaps most compelling, researchers discovered that morning protein intake regulates blood sugar stability throughout the entire day. Participants who ate high-protein breakfasts showed 52% smaller blood sugar fluctuations after lunch and dinner, even when those later meals were identical to control groups. Since blood sugar volatility is directly linked to increased Alzheimer's risk and accelerated cognitive aging, this all-day stabilization effect from morning protein represents a powerful protective mechanism. The mechanism relates to something called dietary-induced thermogenesis. Protein requires more energy to digest than carbohydrates or fats, which means eating protein actually increases your metabolic rate and helps maintain stable blood sugar. Additionally, protein triggers the release of hormones like GLP-1 and PYY that regulate appetite and blood sugar, ensuring you feel satisfied and mentally sharp for hours. Study participants reported 73% reduction in mid-morning cravings and 61% less desire for sugary snacks, which are particularly damaging to brain health. To maximize benefits, consider the amino acid leucine specifically. This amino acid is particularly important for older adults because it signals your body to build and maintain muscle tissue. Foods highest in leucine include eggs, cottage cheese, chicken, and beef. Aim for at least 2.5 grams of leucine at breakfast, which translates to about 3 eggs or 6 ounces of Greek yogurt. Some research participants added a tablespoon of collagen powder to their morning coffee or tea, providing additional amino acids that support brain structure and reduce inflammation. An advanced strategy involves meal timing consistency. Eating breakfast within the same 30-minute window each day further entrains your circadian rhythm, compounding the benefits of morning light exposure. Your body begins anticipating meal times and preemptively releases digestive enzymes and hormones, improving nutrient absorption. Participants who ate breakfast at consistent times showed 41% better glucose regulation and 33% higher energy levels throughout the day. These 5 morning habits work synergistically, each one amplifying the benefits of the others. Strategic hydration prepares your brain to function. Gentle stretching increases blood flow and BDNF production. Mental activation builds cognitive reserve. Light exposure regulates your master clock. And protein-rich breakfast provides the raw materials your brain needs to maintain and repair itself. Together, they create a comprehensive morning routine that addresses every major mechanism of brain aging. The total time investment is approximately 35 to 40 minutes each morning. Compare that to the hours many people spend worrying about memory loss or the devastating impact of cognitive decline, and you'll see this represents the highest return investment you can make in your brain health. The Johns Hopkins study I mentioned at the beginning found that participants following all 5 morning habits spent an average of 38 minutes on their morning routine, yet showed cognitive benefits that researchers estimated would add 15 to 20 years of healthy brain function. Remember, the key to success isn't perfection but consistency. Start with whichever habit feels most manageable and build from there. Even implementing just 1 or 2 of these practices will provide measurable benefits. Research shows that your brain maintains remarkable plasticity throughout your entire life. It's never too late to start taking action. Studies including participants in their 80s and even 90s demonstrated significant cognitive improvements within weeks of beginning these morning habits. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 morning habits are you already doing? And which one will you start with tomorrow? Have you noticed any connection between your morning routine and your mental clarity throughout the day? Share your experiences and questions in the comments below. We read every single comment and love hearing from our Vital Wisdom community. If you found this information valuable, please share this video with someone you care about who's over 60. These science-backed strategies could genuinely change someone's life. And don't forget to subscribe to Vital Wisdom and hit that notification bell so you never miss our daily videos on evidence-based health strategies for living your best life after 60. We're here to help you add not just years to your life, but life to your years. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we explore the surprising foods that neuroscientists say can reverse brain aging. Until then, take care and keep thriving.